Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna be doing a few things differently. For one, each one of my videos from now on are gonna end with somebody who has been sent to prison wrongfully. So my videos are gonna play. They're gonna show the corruption of the police. They're gonna show whatever. And when I do these type videos, every one of them is going to end with a video about um, a man who's anybody, any person, man, woman, whatever, that has been arrested wrongfully and convicted wrongfully and sent to prison, and that has served time in prison wrongfully. I'm doing that because this is the best way I know how to show mainly trolls and fucking cop lovers how we have to fight for our rights. We have to make sure that these police are above reproach. Otherwise, somebody will end up serving 25, 30, 40 years in prison because a cop was a scumbag, corrupt piece of shit. And what better way to show these cop licking, ball sack eating fucking pig lovers better than showing them the people that directly are affected by these pieces of shit. Today, there's going to be a lot of these videos are going to show just how deep the blue line really goes. Okay, so y'all enjoy the video.
Know my name and tell him I have a warrant.
What did he do?
That's what I'm saying.
For what?
For what?
I'm from Louisiana.
For what?
For what?
Yeah.
I don't even live in Louisiana, so how would I have a? You don't know my name, so how can you tell me I have a warrant in Louisiana?
Sir.
Sir, stop.
Clarence,
Calvary
hold on.
coming.
Okay, but you know that's your phone.
Sir.
You just pulled up in front of my house and then I don't trust because you shaking like you scared or something.
You're pulling.
Okay.
I don't trust you. You shaking like you scared.
He don't live in
No,
Louisiana.
I don't even live in Louisiana. How the hell would I have a warrant in Louisiana?
Quentin, you already said your name was that.
My name is not Quentin. What the f is wrong with you? Nah,
Sir, his name is
my
not
name
Quentin.
not Quentin.
Then let's see the ID and we'll be done.
Okay, hold on.
It's 8 different names. You woke up and told me 3 different names.
Hold
The
on.
third name you just no.
Clarence.
No, I'm not gonna be the next you kill.
No.
No.
Stop.
His name is not
My name is
Quentin.
not no
Then
Quentin.
let's do this and be done. I got no probable cause. I got
You
your
just
picture.
dropped in front of my house.
Yes, I know who you are.
It's you know what's my name?
Give it.
Man, that. You shaking like you scared. I'm not gonna let you put me in handcuffs.
Please stop. Please stop.
My name is not no Quentin. You don't even know my name and tell me I got a warrant in
Okay.
Louisiana.
Yes. You
Do I
want to
look
show
like
me
a?
the picture? You want me to
Show me the
the
picture.
picture?
Show me the picture.
Okay,
Come over here.
wait.
Just walk with me.
Nah,
No, walk with me.
No.
Tell him walk with
Please,
me.
he's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere.
I need your supervisor or
I am
somebody
the
else.
supervisor. Come on.
Well, let me see your stripes. Well, I need
Come on.
no, I need
Let's
somebody
walk
over
in front of the car.
No, you're not
Walk
gonna give
in
me to
front of
your
the
car.
car.
No.
Sir,
No,
sir.
Put my yard on my
Walk
property.
with
Calm
Stop,
down.
stop,
Just
stop.
calm
You
down.
stop. You stop.
Who are you looking for?
That's what
His
I'm
name
saying.
is
My
not
no
Quentin.
Quentin.
Let me see your
You
ID.
think I'm because I got dreads or something?
No.
You just
Let me
pulled
see.
up in front of my house
What?
and told me I got a
Because
warrant in
that dog
Louisiana.
fucking-
So what? That's my dog.
That's our dog.
You,
That's our dog. Go in the house.
Look, man.
Sir, that's our dog.
Don't you touching me while you shaking. You need to step back and calm down. No, that. Like,
Get my phone out of the car.
There you got him running.
Get my phone out of the
Calm
car.
down. Calm down.
Here's the deal. Doesn't that look a lot like
No, that don't look like
That's
me.
not
What's
him.
wrong with you, man?
Calm down.
What you trying to say? Because I got dreads and I'm black, that's me?
No.
That's not
You
him.
she can see that's not me from
Oh
over
my
there.
God.
Top head.
No,
That's your ID.
what?
Stop. You got no problem?
My name, you ain't got no You ain't, man, fuck
No,
this shit.
please
Look,
stop.
Two of y'all is gonna take over.
Please stop. Please leave him alone, please.
Look,
No, please. That is not him. Please leave him
man,
alone.
get out my
I
yard,
need to do a
man.
report on this. I need to do a report.
Nah, you need to get the out of my yard. You
No,
just said I'm somebody named Quentin. You got dreads and he black.
Come on.
What the is that?
Okay, come on.
Nah, what's that?
Okay,
But now you want to leave, right?
No, I want to do a report on this.
No, you need to get somebody here that's over you because you just
Okay.
made the biggest mistake.
Why?
How the you pull in front of my yard
Come on.
because I'm black with dreads and tell me I got a warrant?
Okay. No, he just
racist.
my kids was out here. No.
My f***ing kids.
Okay.
What? You need to get this over here.
Right. So you stopped me for my car air freshener? Yes, sir.
On a cell phone, Philip Colbert recorded how he was stopped by a deputy, ordered out of his car and questioned repeatedly, all because of an air freshener. He believes it was profiling, and so do his attorneys.
They tell ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing they are working to expose more about what happened and the deputy involved.
Like I said, he stopped me. Let's see what for.
It's mid-morning, September 19th, and Phil Colbert doesn't know why he's been stopped.
Sir, how you doing, man?
You got your license, registration, insurance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any weapons in the car?
Nope.
Okay.
Can I get it from my glove box?
Yeah, please.
Can I ask you why you stopped me?
So you can't have anything hanging from your rearview mirror?
So you stopped me for my car air freshener?
Yes, sir.
Air freshener.
The little tree.
The little tree in my window. Yes, the air freshener.
Colbert says the La Paz County Sheriff deputy had been following his silver Chrysler for a while.
So I'm actually driving from work, and I'm actually going to see my dad in Parker. So I work in Havasu. I'm actually going to see my dad, and that's when it all happened.
How long was he following you for?
About 10 to 15 minutes.
And so you're just waiting for him to pull you over?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's why you start the phone, because you know he's just waiting.
Yep.
Almost immediately, as Colbert reaches for his documents, the deputy starts questioning him about drugs.
Got my cards in there.
Okay, any marijuana in the car?
Nope.
Okay. You smoke marijuana?
No.
And he asks again and again and again.
Mr. Colbert, when's the last time you did smoke marijuana?
I never smoked. I
Never?
just said that.
Okay.
Unsatisfied, the deputy eventually tells him to step out.
Mr. Colbert, you said there's no weapons in the car?
Nope.
Okay, do me a favor, relax, man. You're still 10 and 2.
It's just what I learned growing up. So my mom and dad always taught me keep it hands 10 to 2, stay as calm as possible.
So if you don't mind, this is where I'm relaxed at.
Okay. Can I have you hop out? I just have a couple more questions for you, and I want to speak to you man to man, so that way you're not doing this and I'm leaned over.
Okay. Can I unfasten my seatbelt?
Yeah, dude.
When he stepped me out the car, then I was kind of weary about the situation where it was going.
Out of the car, the deputy starts to accuse Colbert of not being honest.
Like I said, you're showing me signs of deception, and I'd rather you just be upfront with me, man. If you got a joint, I don't smoke. Okay.
How many times do you think he asked you about the marijuana?
Over 10 times.
He's simply unwilling to believe him.
So there's no marijuana, anything like that in the car you know about? No cocaine? No heroin?
No.
Okay. Did you have any objection to me searching your car, man?
Yes.
And why did Colbert object?
Because I'm like, maybe as soon as he checked the car, he's gonna try to put something in there. Maybe, he's gonna try to say I failed.
You mind doing some field sobriety tests, make sure you're okay to drive, man?
Are you serious,
Yeah.
man? This is crazy. Wow.
This
So
is crazy.
the reason I want to put you through sobriety tests is your eyes kind of look a little bit glossy.
Really?
And some people just have that glossiness. Okay? That's why we do these tests to
What's your name, man?
Yeah, sorry, EMAX.
E-Max, short for Eli Max, a deputy with 6 years experience already with his 3rd department.
I have never heard of an officer pulling someone over for an air freshener.
Do you think this is profiling?
I think so. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Civil rights attorney Benjamin Taylor is one of the lawyers representing Colbert. They're considering a lawsuit.
We're gonna be looking at the officer's past, to seeing whether or not he has a history of doing this.
The cell phone video does raise questions.
I ask everybody for every single time I stop. I do this on every traffic stop.
You take everybody out on every traffic
Yes, sir. This is me doing my job. I ask this question on every single traffic stop I do, and I'm not trying to treat you any differently than anybody else I've ever come across.
So what do you want to see happen?
So I basically just want the next guy to not have to deal with this. When I posted it, I explained to everybody this is not a vendetta. I don't have all this hate in me. I'm mad because, this is something that's a reoccurring issue.
So I'm still standing here.
During the stop, Colbert says after 10 minutes of questioning, the deputy made him wait another 10 to 15 minutes while he checked his information.
Now he's doing whatever in his back seat.
Finding nothing, in the end, the deputy finally sends him off with nothing but a warning and this final thought.
I am going to give you a warning today, okay? But maybe in the future, just like I said, man, if you got a joint, we're not looking for a joint. Okay. Thanks. Drive safe, all right?
Yep. Right.
Dangerous object in your hand and you're failing to put it down. Put it down. You're being detained.
Your hand is on your weapon, and you're gonna shoot me?
notice you just sitting on the patio out there.
What's that?
I couldn't help but notice you sitting on the patio behind this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's signs for no trespassing, private property, that kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here. It looks like you're working, doing...
All right, guys. So this is so racially profiling. The last time I checked, police have no authority on private property unless specifically asked by that property owner to be there. So this cop saying, "Oh, I just happened to drive by and seen you sitting on the porch." Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, I'm sure he drives by hundreds of people a day sitting on their fucking front porch, and he decides to mess with this young black man because why? Wouldn't because he's black. Nah, ain't got nothing to do with that. That's what you mean. What you talking about, Willis? It's so funny, dude. But yeah, cops, unless they're specifically asked to be on private property, have no business on private property. They have no authority to enforce anything on private property. Period. So, yeah, we all know what this is about. Let's keep on watching it.
The signs for no trespassing, private property, that kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here. It looks like you're working, doing something, picking stuff up. Okay, gotcha. What's the actual address then?
Arapahoe?
Okay, what unit are you in?
I don't think I have to actually tell you that.
Well, I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here, that's all.
I just told you I lived here.
Okay.
And I told you that I'm working as well.
Okay.
Shouldn't that be enough for you?
Well, I gotta verify it just so I know that you do in fact live here.
What do you need from me?
If you have an ID with your address on it, that'd be great. Well, we've had some stuff going on in this area. I'm just doing my job, just making sure you belong here, and if you do, then great, and I'll be on my way. Okay. And say, do you have anything with your address on it?
Yo, look, man. Here, why don't you follow
Just
me
relax.
and I'll just leave the building, dude.
Just chill out, man.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm just asking you if you have something with your address on it, then that would help.
No, I don't. How am I supposed to have something with my address on it?
Well, a lot of people have a driver's license.
They just carry something with their address on it?
Yeah, an ID. Yeah. So, Mr. Atkinson, can I get your date of birth, please?
Why?
I just need to verify who you are, that you belong here, that you have a right to be here, okay?
Are you kidding me, man?
Can you have a seat, please?
No.
Mr. Atkinson.
No, I'm not.
290 Cook 12. Mr. Atkinson, right now you're obstructing a police officer, which is a jailable offense. I'm asking you one more time to sit down.
Wrong. And you're not going to arrest me. You're not going to do anything. Because I live here. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Last chance, sir.
What?
Have a seat.
Well, what? Well,
Sit
you're
down.
gonna arrest the
Right now I'm
person, you're
detaining
gonna
you
arrest
and
someone,
investigating you for a trespass.
I live here.
Sit down. Sit down.
No.
$290. Have a seat, please.
You're gonna tase me outside of my residence? I hope that
Drop
thing's
that.
on.
Put that down.
I hope the camera's on, sir.
Put that down.
I really do. No, I'm working.
You need to
I live
listen to
here.
what I'm telling you
That's
to do
my
right now.
address. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything
290,
illegal.
we're on
I haven't done
the
anything
east
wrong.
side of
So I'm not gonna
2333
listen.
Folsom.
I don't
Subject's
know you.
failing to comply,
You're actually
not
on my
sitting down,
property,
and
and
he
I
has
feel
some
unsafe.
kind of a blunt object in his hand.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna follow until my cover gets here. Sit down. Now.
Why?
Now. Do it now.
Why? Why?
I'm detaining you to investigate.
What? For
Investigated
what?
trespass.
I live here. You
You
saw
haven't
I'm a
confirmed that.
student.
Sit down.
I'm a student.
Sit down and I'll
I'm not
confirm
sitting
it.
anywhere.
Sit down now.
No.
Sit down.
I'm not sitting down.
Then you're probably gonna get tased in a second.
Why?
Because you have a weapon. Put that
I
down.
have a weapon.
Put it down and comply with my orders.
That's not what you're doing, officer.
Do it.
Better thing, because I got fucking, dude, I can get lawyers. have a camera on you.
It's filming right now.
You're an idiot.
Have a
Why
seat,
would
please.
you think that you could tase me? I'm freaking picking up trash on my property.
I need to confirm it.
Just where I live.
There's a sign.
I'm not doing anything illegal, and you're not gonna tase me, officer. So
Sit
how do
down.
you think about that?
Sit down.
How do you feel about that, sir?
Sit
How
down
do you feel about
now.
that, sir? And get your freaking lieutenant here. All
They're
right?
on the way.
Yeah, good. Point the camera here.
You have a dangerous object in your hand and you're failing to put it down.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down.
You're
You're
gonna
being
shoot me.
detained.
Your hand is on your weapon, and you're gonna shoot me? That's what you're gonna do, officer?
If you use that weapon against me,
A weapon?
then
I'm-
yes, that is a
I'm 20 feet
consideration.
from you. I'm minding my
All you have to do
business.
is comply right now.
Officer, you're gonna shoot me.
Just have a seat, man.
Shoot me? Are you
All I want to do is figure this out with
camera
you.
on this guy?
Sit down.
I don't have a weapon.
That's a weapon.
This is a bucket.
No, that's a weapon.
This
Right there.
is a clamper for picking up garbage, sir.
Put it down. I'm telling you, I'm threatened
It's
by
not a
it.
weapon. You're not threatened. I'm threatened. You have a gun that kills people. How am I supposed to kill someone?
Sit
with
down,
this?
sir.
I don't have a weapon.
Drop it now.
Focus on you. What are you doing? No, what do you mean? Focus
Drop
on
it
you. There's
now.
fucking 6 of you.
Just drop it.
Really? This is my property.
We're not going anywhere. You need to drop it. I haven't confirmed that yet. I told you I'm investigating a trespass. You didn't give me your address.
2333. I live in room 304.
That's the first time. Have a seat.
Are threatening me on my property. I live here.
Hey, listen.
I'm a resident
The first thing you
of
need
this
to drop
property.
that
I'm
item.
picking up garbage from my door. I go to school here.
Drop it.
I
Just
go
drop
to
it and
school
sit.
Here. Don't fucking tell me what to do. You guys don't have a right to be doing this to me.
Sit down
I'm a
and drop
citizen
it.
of this country.
Do you know him?
Yeah, he works for us. He's our work steady.
Okay, can I talk to her?
He's out here picking up trash.
So are you work for Naropa?
Yeah, I'm the director of safety and facilities.
And so is this one of your properties right here?
Absolutely is.
Okay, so he is a contractor.
Right.
Kind of cops that are fucking scum. These fucking two cops that was just in that video that lied on that man and sent him to jail. These are the kind of cops that need to die. These are the pieces of fucking scum that when I read about that been shot and killed on the street, I laugh because they deserve everything they get. They're there for one reason, a power trip to ruin people's lives. And I have no remorse for any one of them I have no sympathy for not a fucking one of them that get killed. It's scumbag like that. It's like half the police in my city. You know, I've been falsely accused, falsely arrested, spent time in fucking jail. I spent 7 fucking months in jail for an assault to a cop I didn't even do. That he beat the fuck out of me and had to justify it. So accused me of assaulting him. And here's the kicker, and it's not even the worst part. Here's the worst part. The guy across the street witnessed every bit of it and told my wife while I was in jail that he saw everything. Was going to come to court for me. They went and they threatened him. He has a daughter. He had a daughter that he was trying to get custody of. And they threatened him and said, we'll guarantee you'll never get in custody of your daughter if you testify on his behalf. So he backed out of it and lied and said he saw nothing. And I don't blame him for that. They would have done it. I don't have no hard feelings against him for that. I totally understand. I mean, you know, it's hard to put yourself out like that for somebody else, you know. I wouldn't have probably done it either for somebody if they were, you know, if it was my child that was going to pay the price. You know, fuck that. I have no hard feelings against him. I'd still shake his hand when I see him and say, hey, talk to him, no problem. But, you know, the kicker of the whole thing is that they come over about a month later to my house when I was in jail, sitting in jail. My wife's sitting on the front porch. They pull up in the alley next to our house and try to apologize to my wife for lying on me. My wife was like, well, I don't want to hear it. Get away from me. Get off my property. I don't want to know. I got nothing to say to you. If you guys are all liars and thieves and crooks. If you were really sorry about it, you'd go up there and drop the charges on him and tell him that you lied or you were mistaken, whatever you got to do to get him out of the charges that you put on him for that weren't true. And they was like, oh, well, it's gone too far for that. We've already testified at the grand jury for that. So, yeah. But apologize to my wife. I so wished recording things was a thing back then, because I would have loved when my wife got that on recording. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them cops are now sergeants in the police force. Yeah. The one that did it was Officer Taylor. He's been in trouble he's a detective, actually. The other one's actually a sergeant and a supervisor, a shift supervisor. The one who actually said that I hit him, or I tried to headbutt him while I was handcuffed, y'all, said that I tried to headbutt him because and I said it in court too. I was like, look, I didn't try to touch him. Why would I wait till my hands are cuffed behind my back to try to attack somebody? It makes no sense. But anyway, he's a detective now, and he's been charged with having sex with an underage girl, everything while on duty. Yeah, I mean, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. By those blue line, they stick together. They're just a gang, and police are very, very rarely are they held accountable for anything they do. And the last video about bad cops in this video is going to prove that right to everybody. And everybody would remember this video that I show at the end of this video, besides the one that of the guy who was wrongfully convicted. But you guys will all know who I'm talking, the guy I'm talking about. But all right, let's continue watching. So,
after ordering 18-year-old Akil Carter out of his grandmother's car,
Hands up high in the air. Face away from us. Walk to the sidewalk.
police placed him in handcuffs and ordered him into the back of a squad car.
Officer Gabriel's going to get some information from you, okay?
Say what? What the black ass doing riding with that white woman? What? Oh, hell no. We ain't gonna have no black motherfuckers riding with no white women. You better recognize, motherfucker. Shit. Wow, guys. That's fucking crazy. Fucking wow. Okay, guys. So here comes the next video. This is really a sad, sad case, guys. And I've got a lot to say about this after it's over.
Stop! Stop! Get on the ground, both of you! Lay down on the ground! Lay down on the ground! Who else is in the room? Nobody. Nobody else is in the room? Nobody. Positive? Nobody. Absolutely positive. Okay. Since apparently we have a failure for you to comprehend simple instructions, I'm going to go over some of them again, okay? Can you both hear and understand me?
Yes.
All right. If you make a mistake, another mistake, there's a very severe possibility you're both going to get shot. Do you understand that?
Yes. I do.
Yes. All right. Shut up. I'm not here to be tactful or diplomatic with you. You listen, you obey. For one thing, did I tell you to move, young man? Did I tell you to put both your hands on the top of your head and interlace your fingers? Take your feet and cross your left foot over your right foot. Who else is in the room? Nobody. All right, stand by, we have contact. All right. Are you both drunk? No.
No.
All right. So you're not going to have any problems understanding anything that I tell you, right?
Great.
All right.
Can I go to my room?
No, you're not going to do anything but come towards us. Young man, you are not to move. You're to put your eyes down and look down at the carpet. You're to keep your fingers interlaced behind your head. You're to keep your feet crossed. If you move, we're going to consider that a threat, and we are going to deal with it, and you may not survive it. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Young lady, shut up and listen. All right? You are to keep your feet crossed. Take both of your hands, put them flat in front of you. You are to push yourself up to a kneeling position. Kneeling position. Now, put both your hands in the air. Okay, crawl towards us.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Stop. Okay. Cuff, grab and pull.
No, Rich, pull
Pull,
this
Rich,
way.
Pull. Let me know when you're clear. Clear? No, you're not clear. You haven't frisked her yet. Okay, when you're done with that, lay her flat. Okay, I need one more cuff her up. Okay. This is the deal. We're going to do almost like we did before. Okay? Have a seat. Okay, young man, listen to my instructions and do not make a mistake. You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
You are to put both of your hands palm down, straight out in front of you. Push yourself up to a kneeling position. I said keep your legs crossed!
I'm sorry.
I didn't say there's a conversation. Hands in the air! Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand?
Please do not shoot me.
Then listen to my instructions.
I'm trying to just do what you
Don't talk! Listen! Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me!
Yes, sir.
Cop who killed, fired from the force, is now getting paid, collecting a taxpayer-funded check every month for the rest of his life.
ABC 15 investigator Melissa Blasius went to Mesa City staff asking how this ex-cop went from fired to medically retired.
January 2016. Then Officer Philip Mitch Brailsford, on the right of your screen, was looking for a person with a rifle at a hotel. This man, Daniel Shaver, is the suspect. Brailsford shoots and kills him.
Quickly reaches back as if he's reaching for a weapon.
But Shaver was unarmed.
What happened was wrong. He was my husband and my kid's father.
Prosecutors and police agreed it was wrong. In March 2016, Brailsford is criminally charged with murder. He was later acquitted. He also received a notice of dismissal, fired from Mesa Police for violating 6 policies, including willful disobedience of rules or orders and conduct unbecoming an officer.
All that was very public, but what happened a couple years later is just coming to light now. A deal between Brailsford and the Mesa City Manager's office allowing him to apply for medical retirement and an accidental disability pension.
His termination was undone and he was allowed to come back with no pay in order to get this done.
He was eligible for retirement benefits, so he applied for them.
But he was made available for retirement benefits because the city then agreed to allow him to come back to work.
State law governing public safety pensions says an officer shall file an application for a disability pension within 1 year after the date the member ceases to be an employee. But more than 2 years had passed since Brailsford's termination, so he would have never qualified without this special agreement to be rehired. Brailsford pleaded his case to the local pension board on the basis of PTSD. And guess who sits on that 5-member board? City Manager Chris Brady.
He had PTSD claim prior to his termination. So in fairness, he was given the opportunity to make that appeal to the board. So whatever the mechanism took place, but prior to his termination, his claim was that he had he was suffering from PTSD.
PTSD from the incident where he shot an unarmed man.
I don't remember the record of that. You'll have to go back and check.
You don't remember what his PTSD came from?
Okay, I've got to get
We have to
upstairs.
start. We're already 15 minutes late.
Brailsford's attorney confirms the PTSD stemmed from the Shaver shooting itself and the murder case afterwards. So again, we look at state law governing these pensions, which says an officer is eligible for an accidental disability pension if the member's employment is terminated by reason of the accidental disability. But as we said, Brailsford was originally terminated for violations of Mesa Police Department policies related to the shooting, not for having PTSD.
And a decision was made by a board.
Right,
so I
you're
think
on
you should,
that board.
Right, so you should ask the board chair and get the minutes from the meeting and find out what happened.
Well, I do have the minutes right here.
And the city manager, he was a yes vote, granting Brailsford a $2,500 a month pension. As for Brailsford, he'll get a neutral reference if a future employer calls Mesa. And he's not willing to talk about how his termination for killing an unarmed man turned into a check for life. His attorney says the former officer just wants to put it all behind him. In Mesa, Melissa Blasius, ABC 15, Arizona.
The Arizona Public Safety Retirement System tells us Mesa's decision to grant Brailsford a disability pension was approved because it was based on an independent medical opinion. A state spokesperson says Mesa pays pensions out of its own fund and can hire, fire, or retire employees as they see fit.
How about new? Lord have mercy, guys. I'm telling you, this editing gets killing me, guys. It's freaking killing me. Sorry about you guys seeing my editing clips, man. It's fucking ridiculous, man. My phone keeps kicking it back to public. It should stay on unlisted when I'm doing the editing, but it doesn't. It just keeps flipping it to public. But anyways, that's disgusting, you guys. This guy should never have been reinstated. He damn sure never should have got money every month. That's taxpayer dollars. It's disgusting. What a lot of people don't realize is that his part of his being fired was conduct on becoming an officer. Is him sketching "you're fucked" on the side of his AR-15, guys. Yeah, that's what he had on sketched, scratched into the side of his own government issued our firearm. He vandalized it and put "you're fucked" on it. So, yeah, he was a trigger-happy scumbag. He filed his paperwork 2 years after he was fired and shouldn't have been able to receive it because it was only up to 1 year after. But, you know, that long arm of the blue line, hey, what are you going to do, right? They got all the pull in the world, you know, so. But, anyways, here's why scumbag like this shouldn't be allowed to fucking, they should be punished 10 times more harshly than anybody else that commits those crimes. At least twice as harsh, because they have the capability of ruining a citizen's a life on just a lie like this right here. Check this out.
My name is John Bunn. I was recently exonerated after 27 years for being accused and convicted of a crime I had no knowledge of, I had nothing to do with. I was 14 years old.
I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man, Your Honor.
One morning I was having breakfast and we had got a bang on our door, and it was a gang of police. They rushed into my home and they started saying I was involved in a fight and a robbery, and they wanted to take me down to the police station for questioning.
August 13th, 1991, Crown Heights, Brooklyn. 2 off-duty correction officers were ambushed.
Police say the 2 gunmen forced the officers from their car, shot them, and then stole the car.
They took me down to 77th Precinct. The interrogation was actually led by a rogue detective by the name of Louis Garcella, and he was threatening me, telling me that I was never coming home if I wouldn't tell him what he wanted to know. He put me in a lineup with grown men. He made me sit down and hold a number up, and a couple minutes later he came back and told me it was my lucky day that I got picked. I woke up the next day thinking it was a dream, that it was like I was gonna be home, that it wasn't real. This is where they say that the correctional officer was shot and killed.
The case was worked by the now disgraced NYPD detective, Louis Garcella.
This happened like 4 in the morning. I was in my house sleeping at the time when this happened. The only time I got a chance to speak was before sentencing, and I spoke to the victim's family, and I explained that It's a tragedy if somebody loses their life or get hurt, but I wasn't the one that committed the crime. They wound up sentencing me to 20 years of life. I was a kid, I was a baby. When they sent me to prison, that was like one of the most scariest feelings I ever experienced. And I didn't know how to read. I wanted to communicate with my mother, and I just wanted to tell her how I felt. And that motivated me. I started with like dictionaries and children's books. By the time I was 17, they was also sending me to state prison. So I got my GED and I graduated to state prison.
We have some more boxes. New boxes came today.
Books? We got a whole bunch of books.
John Bunn is like a nephew to me. When he came out of prison, he wanted to start a book drive. So what I did was offer my home to him. Nice.
Reading changed my life. Reading changed my mentality as a person. I wrote my mother one day and I said, they can lock my body, but they can't trap my mind. I've been in there where I felt trapped without a voice for so long, but the power of reading could take my imagination and take me to anywhere in this universe, and I don't feel like I'm trapped anymore. In order for me to push forward, I dedicated myself to a literacy program, which I started. It's called A Voice for Unheard. Psychology, physical therapy. Just look at the type of books that we got.
John started a library on Rikers Island in the prison, and he gave over 20,000 books.
Good morning, class. How y'all doing? I really want to travel all over the country and speak to the kids and tell them my story so they can learn from me if they can in any kind of way possible, and that's like my way of giving back. Can anybody tell me what peer pressure is? What's peer pressure? I consider myself a warrior. I don't consider myself weak. I feel like I can adjust to almost any circumstances after I done been through what I've been through, and I could survive it. Let's get a group hug, y'all. One group hug. When I go in them classrooms, when I'm with them babies right now, I'm a symbol of leadership.